Hi all. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. If you are new, welcome. My name is Amira, and today guys we are going to be doing a try-on. We're going to be doing a try-on of some of the things I got during the Sephora sale, as well as things that I've had around that I've actually been using off camera, but I wanted to use on camera and talk to you guys about and play with and kind of give you my feelings on. So yeah, let's get into it. All right, so I am primed, and by primed I don't use primer, I use sunscreen because I actually am getting ready to leave the house. I actually am going to work, so I've got my sunscreen on, and I've done my brows because I just do not do my brows on camera, and there's nothing really new to show with that. So that's done. I'm also gonna hold 1 second. I'm gonna put some lip balm on because my lips are dry, and I'm using the I showed this on Instagram a couple weeks ago. This is I got this in PR from Nomad, and it is their lip salve. And I've been using this a ton. It's really nice. It's thick. I would compare it to like a traditional kind of like rose lip salve. It kind of has that vibe and feeling to it. It's great for like times like these when I'm just like doing my makeup and I just want something to sit on my lips. It's nice. I still use my like Laneige sleeping mask and things like that, but I think if you're more into like something that's a bit more solid, you know, that kind of like salve type of texture, this is a good one. Alrighty, so that is done, and I'm going to start with the Glossier Stretch Fluid Foundation, and I got the shade Medium Tan 1, and when I first opened it up, I was like, oh Lord, I got the wrong shade. But when I went back on the Sephora app and I compared it, I just sort of did like a comparison because I looked at the shade, like the shades around it and the shades, you know, above it and below it. And this really was kind of like the closest to my skin tone. And when I did like a comparison of the shades with some of the foundations that I use that are like good matches for me, this one actually came out fairly close. So it's a little light, but it pulls a little more neutral once I blend it in. Like it looks really quite yellow on me, but it's not once I blend it in. So I'm using this brush, which I feel like washing brushes is like a never ending thing. So I feel like I just wash my brushes and now all my brushes are dirty again. But yeah, I just wanted to get on camera, try some things out, maybe chit chat with you guys. I haven't posted a video in a little bit, and it wasn't on purpose. That wasn't by design. It's just that I don't know. I've been going through a bit of a rough patch, just as far as like how I'm feeling, and with everything that's been going on in the world, it's just really been affecting me psychologically. Like it just mentally, I feel really quite sad, to be quite honest. And when I'm that way, I tend to turtle. I just don't want to like do anything. I just kind of want to like sit and be by myself, and I'm not very productive when I'm feeling that way. So but also I like want to give myself the space to like feel my feelings and all that. So I just decided not to film last week. But yeah, this has been like a pretty sad time, I think for a lot of people. This isn't terrible. I mean, it's a little bit yellow, but I feel like it's one of those shades. It kind of reminds me of like the Kosas, where I put it on and I'm like, oh, I don't know. And then once I got everything on, it's like, oh, it's fine. So I've got two concealers. I have the Gucci and I have the Tower 28. And both of these, when I swatched them, I was like, oh. But when I compare them to other concealers that I use, I feel like they're pretty similar in shade. They're a little bit lighter than the Haus Labs, but not a ton. The Haus Labs is more neutral. So I'm going to put this under my eyes. This looks very light on camera. We're going to see how this goes, guys. We're going to see how this goes. And I'm using a rougher sponge for this. I've been loving the rougher sponges. I've gone through so many of them. And I just purchased rougher, just had like their 50% off, and I think it's still going on. So I purchased more. They had a nice little 3-pack, so I was like, I'll take those, thanks. I mean, it's very natural looking. It doesn't look I feel like this is, and this is the Tower 28, and this is the shade, good Lord, this is the shade, I don't even know. I'll put it in the description box what shade I purchased, but I can't remember offhand, and the writing is too small for my eyes. I wear glasses. It's not gonna happen. But yeah, it's just been like a tough time, and it's just made me quite sad and not gonna lie, a little angry, and I've just kind of been feeling those feelings quite a bit, and it makes me quite unproductive, I feel like. But I'm trying to like take care of myself while also feeling and caring for other people, because we as human beings are meant to care about other people. Yeah. So this is actually really pretty. I tried this on my cheek as well, and I actually really liked the way it blended out. It's definitely lighter coverage. I'm actually liking that Tower 28 concealer as well. That's actually really pretty. It's lighter coverage, which is normally not an issue for me. I tend to prefer lighter coverage. My skin is going through it right now. When I'm stressed or feeling any kind of like negative emotions, it shows up in my skin. So that's lovely. But that's actually really pretty. And that blended out nicely. But this is basically the routine that I've been doing with my foundations, all of my foundations that I've been using. The ones in my makeup capsule, this is what I've been doing. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, I've been using the other foundations, except the Kosas. I actually had to remove the Kosas from my capsule because my skin started breaking out little bumps. And I think it was the Kosas foundation. I think it's expired. So I just took that out and I replaced it with the Rituel de Fille 3-drop foundation. And that's sort of what I've been rotating with between is the Haus Labs and the Rituel de Fille. I haven't touched the Laura Mercier though, which is very interesting. But one thing that I've been doing is just applying everything with a brush as far as foundation, and then applying my concealer, and then going over my concealer with a sponge, and then blending everything out with the sponge, like even more, really like melting it into the skin. I really liked the way that has looked. So next up, let's try the bronzer. I did wind up getting the Give Beauty bronzer. I know when I filmed my video, I was like, I don't know, I'm maybe not going to get it. I'm just going to get the blush. I wound up getting the bronzer because I was just so curious. I got the shade, it's called Smokin'. And it's between this one, it was between this one and the one that's a shade deeper. But the one that was a shade deeper, it looked like it would have been too deep for me, like a little too brown as far as the contour shade. So I got this one. We're going to see how it goes. It looks like this. As you can see, whatever it's going to be very natural, which I'm fine with. I don't need it to be like super heavy. This one has a smell. It smells like almost like baby powder. That's the smell. I mean, it smells like, yeah, it smells like baby powder, like perfumed baby powder. So we're gonna go in with this here. Oh, that's a really, oh, see, I made the right choice. This is basically what I want. I want something really soft like that. Oh, nothing too ridiculous. And if I want to build it up, you know, then I can build it up, but I'm not looking for something really like intense that I have to like try to dial back. Now it does have the powder in here, and I might go over it with the powder once I set my face and see, because I used to do that all the time anyway. That used to be a technique that I loved, where I would go over my face with a cream bronzer and then set my face, and then go over with the bronzer with a powder bronzer, and it just gives a more cohesive look, and it just kind of blends really nicely. But I haven't done that in ages, and I kind of want to see if I can kind of achieve that same vibe. I'm assuming, you know, that's kind of the point of this, is to get that same vibe. Now this is supposed to be like contour and bronzer. I don't feel like this is a contour shade for me. This is a bronzer shade, but I'm okay with that. I feel like you either contour or you bronze. It's hard for me. I don't like the way the two look on me. Like if I do both, I just feel like it's a little overdone. It's not really my cup of tea. Sorry if you can hear trucks. It's that time of the day in my neighborhood where all the trucks just come out to play. All right, so I'm going to go ahead, and I'm bouncing around a bit because I am actually doing my makeup for work. I actually am going to be wearing this out, so actually got to do my makeup for real, for real. So I'm gonna prime. This is nothing new. This is just my regular About Face Beauty Shadow Fix Primer, which I love. And I'm almost out. It's kind of drying out on me, which is not cool. I'm just gonna use my finger to blend this out, because this is what I do when I do my makeup in real life. I'm not really precious about this kind of stuff. Nobody got time for that, you know what I mean? All right, so that's done. And then now let's do, and I'm gonna come back to the face, but I wanna jump into the eyes because I want to play with two palettes. So first up is the Nomad, the travel palette. And Nomad was really not kind enough to send this whole set to me. And it was such a cute little PR set. It came with a bag, and it came with like the salve and like a face cream and a face mist and this palette. And I haven't used the face cream or the face mist. The face mist I probably will give away to like a friend. And the face cream I haven't tried yet because I'm still going through a moisturizer that I am trying to finish. But the two things that I have been reaching for have been the lip salve and this palette, and this is what it looks like. It's super basic. It just is. And it's a travel palette, and basically the whole idea is that it's, you know, your basic items that you would need to take with you when you travel. And honestly, guys, I am traveling in the beginning of December. I'm going to Vegas, and it's going to be my first trip in basically since the pandemic. My last trip was in November of 2019, and I had plans to travel for my birthday the next year, but we all know how that went. So it didn't happen. So this is my first trip in a really long time, and it feels like I kind of gotten out of the, like, I've lost the hang of like travel. So I feel like I'm starting from scratch. Like I had to get all new luggage because the carry-on that I have when I went on my staycation for my birthday was like crap, and it was falling apart, and I was like, oh no, I have to get new luggage. But so I had to order new carry-on. It's just like I feel like I'm starting from scratch with everything, which is interesting. So I'm doing the first shade, which is Let's Take Off, and I'm not doing a whole lot with this palette. I have been reaching for this palette as like basic shades to pair with other palettes, or if I'm just doing like a look that requires just something in my crease, and then I'm throwing on a shimmer. And I have been using quite a bit the, let me zoom you guys in so you can see the eyes a little bit better. There we go. I have been using the new Urban Decay Moon Dust palette a bit. And I do plan on eventually sitting down and doing like a roundup of things that I've been trying. It's just that I haven't had the time or the energy, but I plan on doing that at some point because I have things that I've been using quite regularly that I haven't really gotten on camera and talked about. But yeah, this is just giving me like a basic crease shade, which is what I like. Now, I will say I've really been using these like pretty much every day. I'll go in with this one, and I'll use this one in the outer corner, and then sometimes I'll do like a line, I'll do like a soft wing, or if I want it super dramatic, I'll just use all three of these, and I'll go on with a shimmer. I have used these shimmers. They're nice. I do like the texture of them. My only complaint is I would say I wish that there was a warmer shimmer. As you can see, these are quite cool. This one's quite cool. I can't really use this. It's a little bit light for me. I usually use this in like my inner corner, but this one is this is like a champagne pink or rose, and this is like a really pale gold. And then you have this one that is really pretty, but it has like almost like a purple undertone to it. And I would have loved like a rich bronze or like a rich gold. But that's just preference, you know. But the shades themselves they perform beautifully. It's just that I've sort of been taking the mattes in the palette and dipping into other things for shimmer. So the next palette we're going to use, and I'm probably going to dip back into the travel palette to deepen up, because the palette that I'm about to use now, I really like. My only gripe is that I do wish there was a bit more differentiation in the mattes. I wish we had a little bit more, but I also understand that this is a very specific color story, so it makes sense. So I have the Adept Cimmerian Sunset. I've had this for a while, guys, and I've been using it. Here you go. Isn't she stunning? I'm sure you've seen this, but I just This is my first time trying Adept. Do you remember when I was poo-pooing? I'm like, I'm so over multi-chromes, and I am. But these multi-chromes, the formula is so nice. So nice. And so I'm like, well, I kind of want to dip into this today. So we're going to dip into this one today, guys. And we're going to have a little fun with it. I am wearing a dark green turtleneck today. Green is my favorite color, and it is turtleneck season, my favorite season. So I'm like, yeah, let's wear it. Let's do it. So I'm going to dip into this sort of pale green called Tanagra. And I'm just going to start that on the outer corner. And I am using a Rephr 13. I bought new brushes from Rephr too, guys, because I can't be stopped. I can't be stopped. I was like, I don't really need any brushes. And then I went on the website and everything was 50% off. And I was just like... So I got some new brushes. I didn't get repeats. Usually when I order from them, I like stock up on my favorite brush shapes. But I have enough of my favorite brush shapes. So I was like, fine, let's try something new. Let's step out of our comfort zone. So I got a couple of other shapes, larger shapes that I want to see what I can do with, because I do tend to go smaller with my brushes because my eyes are, slightly hooded. So it just makes life easier when I can have a brush that can really like get in there and define my eyes. Like this one. This is so pretty. So I'm going to do it on the other side, of course. All right, so that is done. I have basically, I want to say like kind of like given my eyes the shape that I want them to have with this shade, and also given my outer corners the deepening that they will need. Now I will, like I said, I might dip back into the travel palette for that deep rich brown. Might, just to deepen up the outer corners a bit more, but we'll see. And now let's decide on one of these bad boys, because they're so pretty. I don't know. I want something that'll go with what I'm wearing. Would it be Risa? This is what Risa looks like. As you can see, it kind of has like that. It goes from like, shifts from like pink to green. Such a pretty shift. The shifts in these are so stunning. And then we have, what is this one called? Mog. This one is more of just like a flaky, almost topper in its like texture. What I use when we did Barbie theme for our Halloween dress up event at work, and this is what I use. This is, I think it's called Trill. Look how pretty that is. But my absolute favorite shades in this palette are these here. So this is USS Defiant. Look at that. I might use this one, guys. I might have to go orange. And then Packled, which is that one. It's more subtle. It's like lighter in tone, but it's so pretty. And then Lol. And let me see if I can get this on here, which is this one. So this one, and this one, I might use Lol actually. I don't know. And then the shade Delta Quadrant, this orange. It looks a little bit brighter on camera, but it's like this rich, deep orange. I did a look using Delta Quadrant, USS Defiant, and Lol. Stunning. So I'm tempted to just dip into like USS Defiant and Lol and get like a really beautiful like dramatic vibe, and I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm kind of in the mood to go there, so let's go there. So we're gonna dip into USS Defiant. And what I like about these is that they are so unbelievably like, they're like wet to the touch almost. They have a creaminess to them. You can kind of see from when I dipped my brush in. I don't know if, yeah, can you see it here? Like the texture is very, very almost pomade, not in a wet way, but I just mean like in the way that the texture kind of moves in the pan. And as a result, I don't feel like I have to wet my brush. And I think that's really the point of these, is so that you don't have to really do that. You know, you can go right in and you get the payoff right away. And that's kind of what I'm looking for, you know, especially for a palette that is of this price point. I think it's important that like the shadows perform to meet the price point. This is not a cheap palette. I think this is like a $70 or $80 palette. It was definitely, you know, expensive because it's a palette with 2 rows of multi-chromes, which multi-chromes are insanely expensive to formulate. So I'm not like complaining about that. I'm just saying that when you are paying that kind of money, and it's the same as luxury brands, you know, and I think that's one thing that I will say that I've noticed with the indie makeup industry is that the price points have gotten quite high. And I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I'm feeling a little like, and especially when it's like a newer brand that you haven't tried before and they're charging like $60 for a palette. And I'm just like, no, no. You know, I have to sort of have some sort of like, I have to know what I'm getting into, or at least have like frames of reference, you know, like I've never tried Adept, but a lot of people have. I've seen a million reviews. So I kind of knew what I was getting as far as quality when I ordered this. Whereas a brand that's like brand new and right out of the gate, their first palette is $60. No, no. This is so pretty. I don't know if you guys can see that. It is so pretty. What I'm going to do now is take some more of that green and just kind of marry this a little bit more on the edges. I'm going to take a little bit more of USS Defiant as well. And I just want to make sure that these are blending nicely together. They're playing nicely together. All right, let's do the lower lash line. So I'm going to take the Travel palette again. And I'm going to take Up and Away, which is this shade here. And I'm going to apply that on my lower lash line. And this is the darker tone, but I want to have a little bit more depth on my lower lash line. So I'm going to go in with a darker tone instead of going into the light and then building up. I don't feel like I need to do that. Okay. And this is just like a really pretty basic, like neutral brown. You know, it's not warm, it's not cool, which I appreciate because I feel like for a palette like this that it's meant to be for like taking with you. And by the way, I probably will be taking this palette with me when I travel because of these 3 shades. And then I can take something else that has like the funsy things in it. But and honestly, if they had just done like a trio of these, I would have been happy with that, to be quite honest. I'm going to take the same number 13 and I'm going to dip in Fly the Skies because I just want to deepen just the very edge. And can you see the difference there? Just that little bit has deepened that up so much. Because these are quite pigmented. Like the Nomads mattes are incredibly pigmented. And they just give you what you need. Like that's what I wanted. That's literally all I'm doing. I might blend it out just a bit more, but you know. All right, now we're going to take, I think I'm going to take Packled, or do I want to take Lol? Let's take, what should I put on my lower lash line? Let's take Lol. I'm going to take Lol. And I'm just going to tap it on my finger just to get rid of any like extra little loose flakes that don't fall on my face. I just like to tap on my back of my hand a bit to get rid of any loose flakes. Just a little trick. Just like, you know, dip, dip. And it usually helps. It gets rid of anything that's just kind of like hanging on the brush that's going to fall down onto your cheeks. Okay, so that is Lol. Now I'll take Packled, and I'm going to put Packled in my inner corner. How pretty is that? How pretty is that? These shades are so stunning. They're so stunning. I'm gonna blend this just a little bit more. There we go. All right, so I'm going to move on to my, and I've got all these shades. I'm gotta wash my hands before I leave. Let's get on to the blush. And so I have the Gift Beauty blush in Feeling Cheeky, and I'm gonna zoom you guys out so you can see my face a bit more. Hello. So let's see. And this is the one, this is Stars Aligned. This is the, like, I was between two. There was the orangey one and the peachy one. And I don't know, the way that they had the peachy one on the model just really, again, this smells like candy, like, you know how, like, how do I describe it? You know how there's powder, like body powder, and but it's perfumed. It's like, oh, it's French body powder, and it smells like perfume. That's what these smell like. That's what these smell like. That's what they smell like. I'm gonna use a different brush because I need something that's clean. That one's kind of not. All right, let's see what we get here. Ooh. I'm using a, and this is a rougher brush as well. This is a number 5. I'm using a natural hair brush, which generally picks up more product anyway. I'm kind of wondering if I should have picked up a synthetic brush before I came over here. Look at, oh, that's pretty though. I am using just the top shade as of now. I want to kind of go into the other one as well, but I feel like I have so much pigment on my face already. I don't know. Let's see. It's definitely gonna be a heavy blush day. I mean, I don't mind if you watch my channel, you know Amira does not hate a dramatic blush moment. Amira loves a dramatic blush moment, but it's not that dramatic. And even like if I look at it in a big mirror, like it looks very cohesive and pretty with, you know, the bronzing shade. And I actually like the idea of just dipping back and forth in this because both of these shades are so pretty. Okay, I'm liking that. All right, Gwen Stefani. Okay. I can't stop applying. This is me. This is how you know I like a blush, when I just can't stop applying it to my face. But look, it gives this beautiful glow. And this one has the shimmer. It has like, not shimmer. It's got, I guess for lack of a better word, shimmer. This one has like that nice silky shimmery sheeny vibe. This one is the more matte. But I feel like the matte looks so finely milled that, and I'm gonna swatch these for you guys so you can see. So this is the top one. This is the sort of like sheeny one, and then this is the matte one. Do you see? This one I feel like gives the glow, and this one gives the dimension. Oh, so pretty. So pretty. All right. Now let's move on to lips. I'm going to take off my lip salve. Oh, I need to go after on too. I tell you what, let me take off my rest of my lip salve, put on my mascara because that's not new, and then I'll come back. All right, guys, I am back. I have applied my mascara, and let's get on to lips. So I picked up one of the Sephora Lip Story shades. It's the one Snuggle Weather. Looks like this. This was on sale. It was like $3, $3.50 plus 30% off because all of the Sephora stuff was 30% off. So I'm like, it had been in my like loves list forever. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get it. So let's line my lips. I'm just using a nondescript. I think this is Control from Color Hot. I don't even know if this matches. I grabbed it. It was brown. I was like, okay, you'll do. I'll make it work. And that's one of the ways I make it work. Is I feel like it's too dark. You really can only do this with creamier products, lip pencils. So I'm gonna line, and my line is really quite atrocious. So we'll see how that works, because that was not my best work. Okay, that's done. And now let's put on Snuggle Weather. And I have tried this on, so this isn't like a first impression as far as the color goes. I knew I would like it. And it was really funny because I was reading the reviews and the people were like, people in the reviews are like, this is much more like yellow toned and more like yellow undertoned and kind of like a fugly brown, a weird brown than I was anticipating. And I was like, yes, I love a fugly brown, a yellow based brown. For the lips, baby, I was like sold. That didn't deter me at all. That sealed the deal. This feels really nice on the lips. It's very like it feels very nourishing. Like it's a satin, so it's got that like satin vibe, but it just has like this beautiful like emolliency to it. Like it has a bit of a taste, but it's more like a makeup-y taste, not a, does it smell like anything? No, it's just like makeup, you know. It's not like, oh, it smells like, it tastes like vanilla. No, which is fine. All right, guys, so this is the finished look. I actually liked everything that I tried. I'm actually really happy with how things are looking. I did say I was gonna add the powder bronzer and I didn't, but I'm actually okay with that only because I feel like with this blush that might have been a bit much and it would have looked a bit muddy. But I'll play with it a little bit off camera and report back if it actually is. But I just feel like I said, I'm getting ready for work. So if it was really muddy and gross looking, I don't have the time to like take it all off and start over. So I just was like, I'd rather not take the chance. And I'm actually really happy with how my skin looks right now. Like it looks like skin, you know, it looks, and like I said, this is performing very similarly shade-wise as the Kosas performs on me, where it goes on and it looks quite yellow, and then once I put all my makeup on, it actually looks perfect. So I'm happy with that. I'm actually happy with the finish. It is very skin-like. I'm actually quite surprised. I haven't tried a lot of Glossier. I've tried a few of their like skincare products, but I haven't tried any of their makeup. I think the closest I've come is the Balm.com lip balm, which I wasn't actually that big of a fan of. So for me, this is sort of my first foray into their actual makeup, and I'm shocked because I've heard so many things about like the stretch concealer and how it's nice, but it's like of pigment, you know, just a whisper. And so I was worried that it was going to be that. This is light. Like this is a light to, I would say it's like light to light medium. Like you can build it up a bit. I was able to get a bit of coverage to cover up some of the things that I'm dealing with while my skin is being crazy. So I'm actually really happy because it looks like my skin, but better, which is what I was expecting something like this to give me, but I wasn't expecting it to give me quite as much coverage as it did. Like I was expecting even less. So I'm actually quite happy with how this looks. Like I said, I've been using this all month since I got it. Basically, I've been using this one on and off. Love it. These two were first impressions. I'm really impressed by both of them. So I got Stars Aligned and Smokin'. I'm really impressed by these. I'm like pleasantly surprised. The Tower 28 concealer, I was on the fence about getting this. You guys, if you watched my Sephora, you know, wish list video on what's in my cart, I only had the Gucci in my cart. And then I was like, as I often do, I was in the moment and I was like, you know what? Let's throw that Tower 28 in there. Why not? So I did, and I'm glad I did because so far I'm really liking the way it looks. It does give coverage. It's not high coverage, but it's giving, I think these two together are giving what I need them to give, you know? Like this is what I'm expecting them to give me together. And I want to try this with other foundations as well, of course, but I actually really like this as a combo. Is actually really, really nice. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with that. As far as my Sephora haul, I did buy other things. I did place other orders, but the second order I placed was my, I got a bunch of like skincare minis because there's a couple things I want to try, but I didn't want to pay the money for the full price. And then also I wanted to get a few things that I can take with me on my trip to Vegas next month. So I threw some of those in. And then And then guys, I got a $100 Sephora Rouge reward like the day before the sale. I was able to get my hands on one, so I was holding on to it. I didn't use it for anything because you can't use the Sephora Rouge reward with a discount. Like, it has to either pay full price for the product and pay for it with the reward. You don't get both, which I knew. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna buy from the sale. Like, I'm just gonna buy from the sale. And then that day Huda announced the Pretty Grunge palette, and I was like, bet. So I got that. That has not arrived yet though. That is supposed to be coming, I think, today or tomorrow. So I'm excited for that. I picked that up along with a new lippy from Gucci. I treated myself to a new lippy. And yeah, so I also have the new Natasha Denona. I haven't forgotten about it. I've got some plans for that. I just need the time to sort of sit down and film the video. So yeah, there's other things coming, some more new things coming, but also I want to film a couple of other videos for you guys in the coming weeks that are about, you know, sort of like end of year, some of my reviews of some of the worst makeup I've tried this year. So there's some things coming that I'm excited to get around to. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below, guys, what did you buy from the Sephora sale? Did you skip the sale? Because I know a lot of people skipped it this year, which I completely understand. This wasn't like the most exciting, you know, sale year for me, and I wonder if other people felt that way. Like, there were things that I wanted that I knew I was gonna get that were already on my loves list, but there was nothing that I was like, oh my god. I don't feel like I went absolutely insane as far as the sale went. Like, I placed 2 pretty reasonable orders, and then the other one was like relatively free. I paid a small amount, you know, to cover, you know, overage. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below, guys, what did you get? Did you get anything? Have you tried the new Glossier foundation? I want to know. Don't forget to hit the like button as well, guys. It helps my channel get more views, more eyes on it in the YouTube algorithm, which is always great when you are a small growing channel. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye now.